Sasuke Uchiha is one of the last survivors of the Uchiha clan and also one of the biggest emos of all time and of anime. But the question is, why is he like that? To start, Sasuke's life changes forever when his older brother, Itachi, who's also super gay, massacres the entire family after not letting him go visit his boyfriend or something like that. Sasuke, in turn, consumed by an insatiable desire for revenge, leaves the Hidden Leaf village to train with Orochimaru, a man with a snake face who lives in the middle of a forest. Congrats, Sasuke. But Sasuke's goal is just to become strong enough to one day face his brother, Itachi. But in the middle of this story, his best friend, Naruto Uzumaki, keeps getting in his way to try to make him come back home to Konoha village. After all, just like his brother, Sasuke is also gay and has his own boyfriend. But would the power of love be enough to make Sasuke abandon Orochimaru's snake in exchange for Naruto's Rasengan? Well, that is the question. And despite being a detestable and very poorly written character, for some reason, if you are or were even a 12-year-old boy, it's very likely that you identify with Sasuke Uchiha, a person who lives judging others in his head, considering himself better than them. After all, everyone said how incredible and spectacular Sasuke was, the girls were always falling in love with him, and he couldn't care less about them. A person who only dresses in black, who doesn't give or tries to not give a damn about people, who's extremely arrogant, and has a huge desire to go somewhere other than his own city or even his country because he believes he's too good for his family, his friends, and all of his countrymen. Someone so incredible shouldn't be around such inferior people, right? Right? In other words, when you search for narcissistic personality disorder, you get both a photo of yourself and one of Sasuke Uchiha as well, side by side. But back to the first question, why the hell are so many teenage boys, you and Sasuke Uchiha, like that? Well, when we look at Sasuke's personality, we see that he's an ISFP, just like the creator of the anime himself, a personality with the functions F5, SE, and INTE. The dominant function of this type, introverted feeling, or FI, is characterized according to Jung as this moral and dualistic view of things. The person with FI tends to see the world only as right or wrong, people as good or bad, life as black or white, with no distinction for middle ground, gray, or even other colors. He always sees everything in a Manichaean way. And that's exactly how Sasuke sees those around him. The bad people, like his brother, are completely horrible, until he really discovers the truth behind his actions. That's when we see more evidently another function of this type, tertiary introverted intuition, or NI. For ISFPs, this function isn't as refined as it is in other types like the INFJs or INTJs, which I've already talked about here. While for those types, NI is a long-range vision, usually linked to the future and unraveling a perfect idealism of life, for Sasuke it's more about trying to follow only what he believes is right, ignoring everything around him, friends, family, and especially the opinions and advice of other people, who constantly warn him about the truth he's seeking, like Naruto, Karin, Sakura, or even his own brother. Narcissistic people usually also show low traits of agreeableness, meaning these are people who are unlikely to agree, be compliant, or just accept other people's opinions. After all, they always think they are right in everything they do, everything they say. In short, they're completely perfect, and if they are not, the blame is always on the other person who got in their way, who prevented them from being who they could be. Just like Sasuke does with, well, everything, his friends, his village, and even his own past. While Naruto is always using his past as a motivation to do good things, Sasuke is always using his past as a justification for his bad behaviors. More specifically, that's exactly why he tries to leave his village, but not exactly. Actually, after having a fight against Naruto, he realizes that Naruto is probably stronger than him, and therefore he could never defeat his brother like that, losing to someone he considers inferior. and with that he closes himself off from everyone and follows his own path without listening to anyone else, just like INTJs does. But he isn't one, and however, as he progresses through life, he starts using more of his other two functions, the auxiliary SE, the extroverted sensing, which is about stop following an idealism, stop following a future, or seeking that future, which for ISFPs is a superficial and a depthless of a future, as I said before, to start looking around him and seeing that sometimes everything he needs, including to become stronger, is right there in the present moment, with Naruto, with Sakura, and with the Konoha village. Sasuke learns that these people he ignores, they aren't obstacles. They are a huge source for him to become stronger himself. Finally, he learns to use his TE, the inferior extroverted thinking, his shadow. He starts seeing in other people their abilities, their capabilities, what they can offer, and especially what he himself can offer to them. He then stops wanting to become stronger, to satisfy that inner narcissism he has, but instead to offer the best to his friends, to the people around him. In other words, Sasuke then stops being an emo gay like he always was throughout the anime, and at the end of the anime he becomes just a gay. And that's it. That was the analysis of Sasuke. In the next video I'll try to do one from L from Death Note, as many people have requested. Share the video with a gay friend of yours, and we'll see you in the next time. Bye bye.